Chronicles TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the previous episode, apparently we completed episode 4, and now we're on the final episode, the result of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. If you had today's episode, make sure that like button spoilers can bridge the channel, as we're going to go into the final episode. Oh my gosh. Here we go. No cinematic thing? Alright then. So, the time's finally come. Today we unravel everything. Oh, I forgot to change the thing. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Before we begin. No. Before we begin. Hold up. Wait. Back. Before we change the entire thing. Special content. Before we go back, let's do the thing. Taylor. Take it off. Take it off. Alright, let's end it like authentic. Shall we? Shall we? Alright. Here we go. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Mrs. Sato. Mrs. Sato? Oh, no, what's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but... I'm so sorry, of course. I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shan't let you down. Would you mind helping me to my feet, then? Oh, dear, I'm really sorry. Sato-san isn't her usual self at all. She found out she has a sister. But that's hardly surprising, I suppose. She just found out that her father is the partner of a world-famous detective. Not to mention, she could be sisters with Iris. Lord Von Zeeks. Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. What? Did I hear that correctly? What? Oh, no, nothing. Just, I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says, I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been Reaper-like at all since the beginning yesterday. Lord Van Dyck isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Good point. The Reaper. I suppose in hindsight, I should have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tacit acceptance of the pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all this. Well, you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zeeks. It's only because the serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. Now we know. Not having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned to as some sort of demigod. To wield a deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, could not. Yes, we heard that story too. When I lost him, I felt as though I lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public.
He was obviously extremely important to you. Lord Clint von Zeeks.
Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know what you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond shadow of a doubt in court today. I never thought I'd say this, but I can see in your eyes that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air? Oh, Iris, when did you get here?
Oh. I brought you one of my special plans. Hurley loves it. He says it helps to clear the head.
I thank you.
Oh.
That's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. You seem different today, Iris.
Oh.
Sort of subdued, I suppose?
I am not.
What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Site's laboratory.
Alright then. Good luck to you both. I have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying?
I thought you want to watch today's proceedings.
Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready.
Get ready for what?
Oh, yes. Would you take this?
Isn't that the one that felt like a little dog dangling from your knapsack?
Yes, it's a lucky charm. A little Hurley that I made once.
A Hurley? It looks more like a Hurley to me.
If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley ears as hard as you possibly can.
What? Pull his ears?
That's right, it's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it. You think all we'll need is luck? I just sneaked a peek inside the courtroom, and it seemed very different to normal.
Yes, it would seem. Asserted someone has decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean?
What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and he had to come home by the time I left this morning. Oh, I see.
Was Professor Miko Tubo out all night too, do you think, Mrs. Sato?
Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all.
They?
Father and Judge Jigoku. Judge Jigoku.
I don't know why every time I say Jigoku, I always stutter right there.
That's right, nobody appeared to have seen either of them since yesterday.
And here we go. Let us begin.
Good luck then, Runo. Good luck, Susie.
Yes, thanks, Iris.
And you, Mr. Reaper, I hope it goes well.
Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing.
Aw, I'm so glad. We must go inside now. Lord Von Zeeks.
Lord Von Zeeks has always been a formidable prosecutor. I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today, I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. Back! My best friend, Kazuma Asogi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one reckoning. It feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday.
There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides. Mr. Naruto, look! Oh! Lord Strongheart! Whoa! The judge been dismissed. This is the first I've seen. Kazuma must have known beforehand. The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundation of our country's legal system. The escape of the condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent offload shooting of the man, and the revelation that a prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial, and one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority. Yo! Why it's all by ghosts? Ghosts! The 6 jurors' flames just... All was the case in yesterday's proceedings. Those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, as assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart. What collection? I see no one. On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Von Zeeks. You are a prosecutor of exceptional talent, much like your brother Clint, in fact. Not the Unicorn's Horde. In the name of Her Majesty, I hereby declare this court to be in session. For the trial of Berk Von Zeeks, who officially stands accused of murder. Counsels for the prosecution and defense, are you full readiness to proceed? Defense is ready, my lord. As it is the prosecution. Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And in those chat-aside operations, he had an accomplice, Mr. Daily Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work when in fact he wasn't. After the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It appeared he buried his memories at a time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. As well as he was engaged as chief warder at Barkland Prison, he was abetted the convict's escapes. Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He's recovered enough to give us a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson as well as investigating the Redhead League. Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed 1 day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound. The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord. Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asogi. I met once again the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on the 31st October and the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details. But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday that the time of death was 5 p.m. on 1st November. There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled. That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse. My lord, this is more than just conjecture. The evidence supports the idea we investigated thoroughly. Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it will give me a renewed significance to the movements of the victim of the day before the Fresno Street incident. It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's inconceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities. Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities? Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday.
I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness to the stand. Gina! Welcome back. State your name and occupation for the court.
Inspector Gina Lestrade, reported. Representing on Scotland Yard.
A self-confirmed rank, but never mind.
Gina? Again? What's your problem, Otto? What's with that? Gina? Again? Look, eh? The boss meant the world to me. And he done more for me than anyone else ever did.
Oh? Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out of the back of the slums of the East End and took me in under his wing. Taught me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here, speaking for him. Oh, Gina. Right, all of the goodness that breaks his heart. Not all that other had it. No, I'm twisted by Mr. Sholmes, no.
What's relevant to these proceedings are the outcome of Scotland Yard investigation yesterday. Has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about. Very troubling. That face, Longstrong heart knew. So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it is that you report.
Coming right up, sir.
The victim's movements.
All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. A little search on boss's office turned out this notebook they had a secret meeting in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled good deals that day. Looks like it was a big old job, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. What matters most is there was witnesses who saw the Reaper at the place too.
Yes, we know about that. We know why he went there.
Smuggled goods? I don't know, did I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book.
Tobacco, tea spices, medicine, good of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that there are supposed to be regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time.
So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets?
It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority without the Yard's knowledge.
And do we know where the dealings take place at the time?
In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentleman's club, and on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter.
That can't be! We haven't heard anything about this.
Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused, Berg von Zeeks, was present. That would be significant testimony then.
Oh my, but Lord von Zeeks has made no mention of this at all.
In short, Lord Van Zeeks had ample opportunity to murder the victim. Very well then. Counsel for the defense, you begin your cross-examination.
Oh man, he has that glare.
He has the glare.
The victim's movements.
Hold it! So, you follow orders, do you, Gina?
Nah, not me. I'm above all that, see? Oh, the boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips, or go get Toby a grub, that kind of thing.
So, Aaron's more than orders then. The detective is still an apprentice after all.
Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't one to sit around and wait to be told what to do even by the boss. That's why I've been doing my own investigation into what happened. I didn't find much at first. Did we even get that as a... no, we didn't.
Hold it!
So you went through Inspector Gregson's things. Yep, as part of the independent Lestrade investigation. I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative. So I snuck into the office when no one else was around. Cause if anyone at the yard had seen me going in there, they have a turf me straight on up the street. This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more like something else. The
Prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook.
You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and her trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby. We found him hidden in one of the desk drawers that had false bottom. That's impressive. So then I went to hide myself where no one could find me so I could have a butcher at what was written on it. Because if anyone at the yard found me out, they have to turf me straight on the street. I given it now, ain't I? And if it weren't for me, it would never have been found.
Can we have that as evidence, please? Did we get that as evidence? No, we didn't! Oh, wait, what was she talking about? Pull by the ear.
Do you suppose this is Iris sees him? Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? Your eyes are veritably boring into the poor doll's ears.
Oh, sorry, I was just wondering, what do you suppose would happen if I were to tug its ears all night now?
I'm sure that we'll find out when the time is right. To become a proper gentleman, you really must learn your stoic patience.
I want to know! Oh, wow. Well, yeah, we didn't get that as evidence.
Hold it!
Do you have any idea where those dealings were taking place?
Yep. It was all there in Boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember.
As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at the Gentleman's Club. Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of the club. That won't be necessary. What? It's conceivable the club might be used again by the smugglers in future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name in those proceedings.
I don't know what's all this fuss about, but it's right here. All I've got to do is read it out. And I could too. I got this reading game buttoned up now. Can I show you what I can do? Got what's on the arm?
The judge hasn't signaled on his objection yet. I could try to find out what should I do. What's this? This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked. As I explained, there is some possibility of the politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. No, my lord, the prosecution has no objection. Kazuma? There's no question the Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obstructive.
Right then. I get to show off me reading skills. Apparently the smuggled goods deal was gonna happen at the gentleman's club called the Grouse.
The Grouse?
Hold it!
The Grouse? What sort of club is that?
I ain't got the foggiest. Clubs ain't exactly my thing. But I'm kind of curious.
They're not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted. Have you looked into the mirror recently?
I tell ya what, me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in undercover.
Could you, though?
I could pick out a few good marks and see what else I could find out while I was there.
I really don't think you should go picking out anything. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it?
Yeah, it's gotta be. That's what the lower ranking detectives of the yard reckon.
Says the even lower ranking detective. Looks like it was a big old job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. So how had Inspector Gregson come to find out about this case?
That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just the apprentice, so...
And why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings?
Yeah, that's what I was asking myself, cause you know, I'm just an apprentice.
When it suits you, yes.
Anyway, the point is, something went on in that club, no question.
You can't say that for certain, though, it's early.
What matters is that there's witnesses who saw the Reaper at the place, too.
Lord Von Zeeks was at the club? He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest. It looks like there is no disputing that he was there then.
Well, we know that Lord Van Zieks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he already discovered Inspector's secret notebook, which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe. Presumably then there are also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there. None have been identified at this time, no. So the all-important victim wasn't seen at the mysterious club. Oi! Why aren't you asking Inspector Lestrade here? So that's all I've got to work with. Jada's not holding back with the ice-cold stare of hers, is she? I really don't know what makes all of this. Lord Van Zieks told us he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he went to the inspector the day before the incident. You don't think Lord Van Zieks could have been lying to us, do you? That's not the only way to explain this. If everything Lord Van Zieks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in this testimony somewhere. You mean there are details we've yet to uncover? Exactly. A clue perhaps that even Gina hasn't noticed. That's what we should be looking for. They saw the Reaper? My guess is him getting the passport. But who are we trying to say that? My first guess is the passport. Because it tells them who's there, because he was busy getting that. But how the heck are we supposed to press the thing when it doesn't make sense? Because we got an autopsy report. We got a passport, the box, papers, something, identification, watch, photograph, Venus firecrack, notice board. This is what the body was found. The gun. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned out the notebook that he had a lot of secret meanings in it. And apparently the smuggle deal was gonna happen at a gentleman's called the Grouse. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't all into it yet. What matters most is there's witnesses who saw the Reaper at the place too.
Objection!
Nope. Yeah, because I have no idea what we're supposed to press. There's nothing. They said there's some inconsistency, something inconsistent, but I can't think of anything. Looks like it was a big job. The coppers weren't all into it yet. One last was the witness saw the Reaper. They saw the Reaper. They said, but what are we supposed to press on that? Oh, maybe this? Maybe this, maybe? Is there anything that says about said thing? Hold up.
Maybe it was this one? Because there was nothing on the board that indicated that.
Objection!
Nope. Stop.
Objection!
As my reasoning is that, what exactly are we supposed to press on? And the only thing I can think of is the password, because on a certain date, in that if it was Turns of Secret Meetings, you would have to go to the thing. And we know about the guy, he sat on it. Oh, maybe this?
Objection!
I got nothing. Because what we're after is when... Are we talking about how to prove that Von Zieks wasn't there that day? Or we're going to prove that Tobias Gregson was somewhere else? That's the thing we're trying to figure out here. That's what we're trying to figure out. There was nothing else I could find besides the dumb passport. That's all we pressed. The passport. We already know about the cut. We already know about the blood. You know, I kind of hate myself on this. It's the last thing we look into. And this is not what I was expecting for the thing to happen. So the grouse is actually a freaking ship? Well, that explains. Well, it was going to my theory about the said thing. Oh my god. Did I imagine it, or was that accompanied by a little sigh? Oh my god. So let me get this straight. I had the right idea what we're supposed to be pressing on. And it's this thing right here. Because I didn't even thoroughly check on that sad letter of introduction because it's a letter of introduction.
Objection!
I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, there are places where to gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Seriously? Is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a call called the Grouse? The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definite yet. And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean, the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on the 31st October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very irrelevant attitude towards our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? A steamship. You think it's a ship? I have the evidence to prove it. Here. Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. The other side, my lord. Be more specific next time.
Ah, this would appear to be ticket for a passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grouse. I spent like 10 minutes trying to figure it out.
Objection!
And it was right in our faces. So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share the name with the club. But I'm afraid to say there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port. The ship arrived at the port of Dover on 1st November. The day on which the sound like the gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, 31st October, when the victim was on the Chatterton mission, the ship had been docked on the British shores. But didn't we get the ticket from Mikotoba himself? So how? It's his ticket, no? I would certainly make an undercover investigation. Someone challenge.
Objection!
The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain subsidiates the defense's assertion for the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question.
Then show your evidence for assertion. Very well. The passport, right? In that case, counsel, for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence sustains your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the 31st.
Take that!
I had the right idea, but not the right supporting detail. What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim? Dated 31st October? What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there is a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country.
Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to be officially authorized.
The day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night. According to my father, who was on board, at the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there? I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport.
What? You mean you knew about this?
The prosecution strategy for trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation and the line the prosecutor has been asked to follow. But, personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something.
What?
And now that you explicitly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi? A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts without exception. Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson sickly made his way to the steamship dock in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper.
The Reaper?
Order! What on earth are you saying, counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, they're by the Reaper's hands. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that.
What?
Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was, in fact, acting for the Reaper.
So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was...
obviously an assassination. Barak von Zeeks never carried out any actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have an accomplice. And you claim that was Inspector Gregson.
Hold it! What what the hell you think he's saying, eh? My boss would never done nothing like that.
And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense.
No, it can't be. We also survived at the same conclusion, didn't we?
Also arrived.
That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper?
Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his orders
was Lord Von Zeeks. No, the true Reaper is somebody else. Beric Von Zeeks is not the Reaper. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper. The suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all.
Oh? You have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, Counsel?
Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed on board the steamship. Professor Mikatoba and Judge Jigoku were on the very ship. If someone had assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it. Tuh. What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on the board the ship. But I think perhaps you missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure. Failure? It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Lestrade. What? The victim's notebook that you read in the excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reapers of the Reaper of the Bailey. You're lying! Even if all them bludgers won't got him taken out in common? The boss weren't the Reaper. Poor Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors. I ain't heard nothing, and I don't believe a word of it. Then testify again as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss. I don't know.
I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook.
Give us this evidence, goddammit! So we can read it.